Good morning. It's me, Pearl, and this is Tuned In Tarot. And we are here to look at the balance between the divine masculine and the divine feminine energies inside of ourselves. Understanding that whatever state we find this energy in, we can expect to see that reflected back to us in our interactions with others, in our external environment. And if there's things that we're trying to pull in or call into our lives and they're resisting us or we're feeling blocked in some way, we need to look at the energy inside of ourselves and shift it in order to see changes outside of us. So you can glean things from people, glean things about people from your real life, but you are very, really and truly just assessing your own energy and then getting that right back at you. All right. Thank you for joining me this morning. We're going to start with Divine Masculine today. Neither one of them wanted to show their cards. And I think Divine Feminine went first the last two times. So Divine Masculine's going to go first today. Top of the day. Actually, let me flip over everything first. I guess I could just be completely surprised. Or would I be? That's the real question. Would I be? I might be. I might be. Nope, not surprised. All right, let's see. Top of the deck, overall headspace, forefront of the mind for divine masculine energy. King of Swords in reverse. We got the King of Swords yesterday in the reading with Grace Strega. He came out of the Fountain Tarot that I was using for the headspace of the divine feminine energy. He was upright. And in the divine feminine's mind, it was her sort of seeking to be in a more mature energy. That it was like from the Knight of Wands to the King of Swords, which is a massive leap. So we're seeing divine masculine today with a reversal on this card, which makes me, of course, think about the shadow that exists within the King of Swords, which is that if he has any issues, it's really that he is withholding, right? He's icy and he's cold and aloof. He has to maintain this distance in order to be able to think critically and analytically about things that might require intellect over emotion. But he can do this at risk to really expressing himself, being in touch with his feelings. And so since this is at the forefront of divine masculine's mind, I would say that what we're seeing him thinking about is not wanting to be this way, not wanting to be so head over heart that he's in this shadow where he's really creating this distance between himself and this the feminine energy inside of self. He wants to be able to balance more his head with his heart. We could also have seen him going through a time of a lot of planning and strategy and building up his armies, building up, it could possibly be legal protection, whether that's to be able to have a good attorney or something to protect you, or there's it's been a time of strategizing and thinking critically about how to approach what it is that he desires. So that's at the forefront of his mind. That has been going on. Because of it, he seemed very cold and very distant. And he's wanting to release that energy now so that he can come forward and claim the niggling thing in the back of his mind, which is the Six of Wands. So it's just funny because this deck was out. I used it yesterday and I like it a lot. And I left it out last night because I had read it a couple of times before going to bed. But I could have chosen a lot of different decks. And honestly, I don't put this one in the headspace all the time. So I think it's just so interesting to see this victory card with a feminine energy on it, because there's many cards that represent the Six of Wands energy in a victory, and few of them have a feminine energy on them that aren't already just overtly feminine decks. So definitely his victory is involving this divine feminine. And there's pearls here and jewels, there's gold, there's a laurel wreath, so there's the spoils of war. There's this idea that this victory, that she is this precious gem to him, pearl, of course. Um, but in the back of his mind, underlying all of his thoughts and decisions, including these conflicts he's having over this King of Swords energy, is his desire to see this victory with divine feminine, to overcome these issues of being unable to speak with her, communicate with her, connect with her inside of the self because of the fears of honestly the chaos that divine masculine thinks comes from not being constantly sort of in control of his thoughts. And of course your feelings are causing you to generate other thoughts, and or you're having thoughts that are generating feelings, and it's very difficult for him to navigate this, but he's worked so hard and his victory is within reach, and all he has to do now is release that masculine, the distorted masculine energy of control over the emotion, the conquering feeling over the emotion, and actually allow the emotion to flow. The first thing on his mind is the Knight of Pentacles upright. So this is an extremely slow moving, very stubborn energy that pauses a lot to look at the landscape. In fact, in this picture, it's not even a real knight that's moving, it's a trophy. And on top of the trophy is a statue of a golden knight. So it's this sense of like, this is something worth waiting for. But in this past placement here in his headspace, he's thinking, I've just been sitting there. Like, instead of going forward and claiming my victory, I've just been like waiting for this to unfold, waiting for the ability to be able to finally express. We have two kings in the spread. The King of Swords in reverse was at the forefront, and here we have the King of Cups upright. Now, again, in this deck, we saw the masculine, but in this deck, we only see this inner eye here, which is very interesting. And it's coming out of this fog. It's been in this fog. And it's there's a lotus of enlightenment here, and there's it almost looks like tears. And of course the heart has been crowned. So this is emotional maturity, reaching emotional maturity. Good morning, welcome. So he's thinking a lot about how long it is taking him to truly reach this mastery that he's longing to achieve. It's like he focused so long on the mastery of the headspace in the King of Swords energy, right? This is how he sees himself. And he can't even picture himself. Like, where is the masculine here? He's not even here. It's just this inner eye. It's like this inner knowing. This has taken him a long time, but we're seeing him now releasing the shadow traits of the King of Cups. The shadow traits of the King of Cups, similarly to the King of Swords, is that the King of Cups does not express. It's weird. My hard drive titles always get changed, and I don't know who does it. And then I look over and I'm like, why does it say that? Most likely my kid now, but I don't know. Okay, anyway. So, sorry, I got distracted. So, the King of Cups in reverse is about releasing the shadow trait of being very withholding, because the King of Cups, the King of Swords doesn't express emotion because the King of Swords actually detaches and distances himself from it. He's cold and doesn't allow feeling to flow so that he can be in the headspace and make decisions based entirely on intellect without regard for feeling. There is the shadow of the King of Swords, which is like, I don't have time for feelings, right? But the King of Cups is completely immersed in his emotions and feelings. He's psychic, he's sensitive, he's kind, compassionate. This is the feminine in its masculine expression almost. It's kind of an interesting mixture of those cards. Just like the Queen of Swords has that more head-oriented energy. But the King of Cups, in order to rule, he has to maintain silence. He can't cause any sort of distress. He can't freak anybody out. So he's got to be very quiet. So for him to be thinking at length about releasing this iciness and finally moving away from strategizing and planning and be all in his head so that he can claim this victory, his treasure here, Pearl. Go away, ego. It's not about you. It's not about you. Oh my god. My card won't stay up now. Okay, there we go. So, in order to claim that victory, he has to express. He can't be in the King of Swords. So, we're almost seeing him move from being in this incredibly silent and distant and detached, disconnected kind of a state into an overwhelming amount of expression, finally allowing himself to express, but from a place of emotional mastery. Honestly, he's taken himself out of the equation. Almost he can't see himself this way, but he knows that he has this potential inside himself to just pour out what he needs to say to this feminine, because here is the Ace of Pentacles, and she is holding on to that pentacle. She's looking very seductive. And there's the Ace of Pentacles is about abundance, prosperity. It's a very nurturing energy. And I really do think that this is also about Divine Feminine's offers that she has made and him hoping that they're still on the table. He's really, really, really hoping that this offer is still going to be on the table. The next thing on his mind is this 10 of Wands in reverse. And this is a completion card, and it's about communication. It's about finally putting down burdens of responsibility that have been upon you. But for Divine Masculine in reverse, I feel like this is a resistance. It's the resistance to communicating, but it's the resistance to communicating because once he communicates what is taking so long, why he has had to stay here kind of in this protective stance and just solidly and reliably, slowly inching his way forward, he's reluctant to unburden himself because he feels that he does not want to share this responsibility with the Divine Feminine. Because once he communicates to her what the holdup is about, what this emotional stuff is about in regards to this offer that he wants to equally give and receive, because she's got an offer and he's got an offer and he wants them to match up, but he's taking so long because he doesn't want to burden her with anything that's going to put her in this Two of Swords energy. So there is this standstill right now, which will only be ended by this communication. But his fear is that when he communicates from the heart, when he releases this icy aloofness and communicates to her what his desire is, who his victory is, and what he wants to achieve with her, that he's going to force her to make some kind of a choice that she potentially might not want to have to make. Like, she could have to hurt someone if she chooses this way, and it could be hurting herself if she chooses this other thing. And he's not wanted to communicate with her because he has not wanted to burden her with the choice of, he knows what she wants and needs. He knows what she deserves. He knows how valuable she is. And he doesn't want to have to put her into a position where she has to choose to remain hidden or secret or on her own or not able to reveal things or communicate. He doesn't want to force her into this hermit energy, which we're going to see on her side, because that blindfold is like where we're going within. And he also is afraid that when he tells her everything that's going on, that's taken so long, that she's just going to block him or not be able to hear him or understand him. This is something he's afraid of. And he's afraid, like, he cares so much for her, like there's so much coming from this King of Cups. It's so overwhelming that she might be afraid and retreat, because they have engaged in this runner chaser pattern for quite some time. So he is overthinking like a lot. Good morning. Glad this is resonating with you. So this is fascinating to me. As Pearl from Pearl and the Prayers, I am releasing a single on Friday, and it is the 10th track on a record that's going to come out in the future. And each one of the tracks does line up to a tarot card, and the 10th track on my record lines up with the Wheel of Fortune. So I've been posting about this card all week, and here it is, and it's upright. And to come upright right below the Ace of Pentacles is like good fortune, right? This is all the abundance, all the prosperity, all the wealth. And I just had an experience yesterday that really convinced me that my hard work is paying off in terms of my music, and I have really been able to achieve amazing management representation that is coming my way right now. So I'm very excited about that, and I feel that good fortune, and there's a lot of worth energy there. So Divine Masculine is feeling the opportunity, like this is an opportune time to finally do this unburdening and break through the standstill that they've been in and get through that feminine energy. But she might be current. This is a current position. So it's possible that what Divine Masculine is thinking about is that she is blocking him right now. He's trying to communicate with her and she's blocking him. She's not communicating back. And so that next thing on his mind is, this is his fate. This is his destiny. He's made these changes. He's reversed that King of Swords shadow. He's reversing the King of Cups shadow. He is making these changes so that he can come forward to Divine Feminine. And there's a feeling right now of it's time to Ace of Cups, to offer her a material version of this spiritual feeling, this connection, this love. He has filled his cup up and he's ready to share. So this is so very much about this finally having this awareness that both of these things must be in place. He was so focused on material offer and not as focused on this heart-centered thing. And that's over. He has changed, right? There's no more King of Swords and there's no more King of Cups shadow. We're seeing him now being ready to be forthcoming. In fact, there's that Three of Wands in reverse. He's very impatient to do this. It is time. It is past time. We know it is past time, right? We've been experiencing this in the readings for weeks now. It is time to make this offer. And all he has to do is overcome this fear that he can't get through Divine Feminine's defenses at this time. I'm seeing your comments. I'm glad it is resonating. So the way these readings work is it is going to resonate with you because if you're in this collective and you feel called here, it's likely that this is your energy. So you might be able to find things about a person that you're interested in, but I'm actually telling you what your masculine energy is like inside of yourself. So you're working on being more forthcoming. You're working on emotional mastery. You're working on being more connected to your emotions and less in your head, worrying about things, planning things, strategizing. You're working on being more heartfelt, more intuitive. That's how this works. So thank you so much for joining. I hope you get a lot out of this today. All right, the top of the deck for the heart space for Divine Masculine is the Six of Pentacles in reverse. So in the head space, he was thinking of himself in this shadowy aspect of being cold and aloof and icy and withholding strategizing, doing all that we talked about. And the heart space, what that's ending up looking like is that there is this refusal on his part to reciprocate with this divine feminine. We're seeing that offer there. That's kind of like tug of war between them in this image. It's interesting. It's not clearly just a gesture of giving. They're both holding on to either side of it. And I have a sense here that divine masculine is feeling that push pull, wanting to take divine feminine's offer and give her one of his own, and then having that head kind of butt in and like and be like, no, you're not capable of reciprocating at her level. Like, you're not on her level. There's like a fear there. There was also a waiting that had to take place. There was this card is being about generosity. There's this waiting that needed to take place in order for him to be able to be generous, right? There was something going on that was preventing him from being generous. And we're seeing the niggling feeling in the heart space as justice, which, if you saw my reading yesterday with Grace Strega, justice has come up quite a lot. It was in reverse a lot for me in the it was the bottom of the deck and reverse all the time for the feminine energy. And here it is for the masculine upright. And it's interesting because in this deck, which is the Prisma Visions Tarot, which I'm using against the Tattoo Tarot in the headspace, this hand, which is very similar to, we're seeing this hand everywhere. Here's the hand with the Ace of Pentacles. Here's the hand like holding on to this wand as these pieces are falling into place. There's hands here offering this book, and there's the hand of fate and destiny and fortune, all in this coming energy placement in the headspace. So this is everything that he knows is coming. And that same hand, which I'm thinking really is about the divine's hand. It's like intervention, the hand of God, the hand of fate, the hand of destiny. That has finally cut through the injustices that have been present. The inability to reciprocate, which of course divine masculine interpreted as external. Oh, there's this reason. I have a karmic partner, I have a family or a past family, or I'm part of a rigid belief system, or my career, or whatever it is that was like a karmic lesson that he was learning. No. It's not about this. It's about coming into union with yourself. In this way, he has now seen some kind of a justice happen. He's learned the lesson. Maybe there's been a legal judgment, something that has finally happened that is enabling him now to be able to rectify this imbalance with that Six of Pentacles energy. So continuing on in the heart space, we are getting this Reverie card, which is very interesting. It's outside of the major arcana in the Prisma Visions Tarot. And it's, I know this camera is not the greatest, but you can see there's this boat, this individual on this boat with a harp here, and they're serenading. It looks like another individual here. There's moon energy, this water and this light leading this way. There's lilies. There's a lot of mystery here, and of course the big question mark and reverie in reverse. So divine masculine, this is clarifying in the headspace this Knight of Pentacles, that slow, stubborn Knight of Pentacles energy. And I feel him in his heart space just being like, dude, what the fuck? Why are you playing? Why are you playing with this right now? Why are you going so slowly? What is the holdup? Like this questioning feeling inside of his heart space, like you could be in this reverie and you're resisting it and just plodding along methodically, avoiding your destiny and your fate, unwilling to communicate and express what it is you truly desire. Dude, why? Like, that's literally like, dude, what the fuck? He's feeling. And then we have strength. And this is what is clarifying King of Cups in reverse, which is beautiful because he feels like he has the strength. Now, remember, in OG imagery of strength, we see a feminine energy that is controlling the mouth of a beast. And the beast looks very docile and is like willing to allow that control. And it's a card that's about controlling our ego, our pride, our ego. and just kind of surrendering to spirit, which gives us a lot of strength. So we're seeing this energy here that he's finally feeling that mastery, the emotional mastery, and the strength, the control over his ego to be able to express without fear of humiliation or reprisal, whatever it was that he was really worried about or concerned about. He's acknowledging that he actually does have the strength to be able to express. This Ace of Pentacles, it's being clarified by temperance. And this is a beautiful temperance image where we have these two cups here. And temperance being about balance and about patience, about this divine protection. It's got an archangel energy, although we don't see the angel in this card, but it's inherent in the card. It's about higher level relationships too, like 5D relationships, being like, these two cups, there's an invisible presence that's like sharing them, kind of a thing. But he's being very patient, and he's feeling very balanced, and he's doing a good job of controlling his emotions, not in the shadow of the King of Swords, which is disconnecting himself from the emotions, but actually just allowing himself to feel them, and then knowing that he is strong enough to make choices in his headspace to move through fears and anxieties and towards the better feeling thoughts, balancing out those emotions so that he can come into alignment to be able to achieve his desire. Holy shit. To be able to achieve his desire, which of course is this Queen of Pentacles. And this would be, when we see the Queen of Pentacles, we know that this represents a material manifestation of a feminine energy here on the 3D. So there's a specific feminine that is in his mind and in his heart, and he's feeling like he's really tempered this energy. This might have been a masculine that was dealing with addiction. He might have had to take his time coming towards divine feminine because he was using addiction to numb out his feelings, and it was actually preventing him from feeling healthy enough to be able to come forward. And so he held himself back because he wanted to make sure that he had all those addictions taken care of, codependencies, etc., really balanced those things out. And that pentacle that we saw him being really sort of patiently cultivating there for this feminine energy, there it is. She's holding it now. And there's just this beautiful abundance and prosperity all around her. And this 10 of Wands in reverse is like finally being able to communicate. But remember, being reluctant because he hadn't wanted to burden divine feminine with choices that would have been much harder for her to make than it was for him. Like, for instance, if he had come in before he had completely seen the severing of ties or connections from the past, then she would have had to be in this hidden, secretive, position, maybe even a mistress in some cases. And he didn't want to put her in that situation. So he took his time and cleaned up. His question to himself is more like, I don't know why it took so long for me to clean myself up and get this stuff going, but I did it. And I now I have my own feminine energy that feels confident and abundant, fertile and creative inside of myself. So I feel I can finally provide something really significant for the feminine energy. And ironically, it wasn't from developing my masculine worth energy. It was from developing my own feminine worth energy and realizing how valuable she is for me, to me, that has really helped me out. And so this Two of Swords energy, where divine masculine is knowing that the standstill is only going to be shifted by his decision to pour out his heart, which he has the strength to do. What he wants to share with this divine feminine, what he's hoping that she's not going to block now, is his desire, which is this 10 of Pentacles, to be a family. And this is a beautiful 10 of Pentacles. It actually doesn't have the material elements. It's a natural card. It's organic, and it shows growth and light and expansion, and two people expanding into another generation. There's definitely feelings of legacy here, but it's a much more balanced image. It even feels more like the 10 of cups is like really kind of like, imbued into that 10 of pentacles energy. And then clarifying the wheel of fortune, the ace of cups, and the 3 of wands in reverse. We have this 9 of swords in reverse. So anything that was frightening divine masculine, if there was a third party energy that was interfering, if there was something that he was afraid was going to happen, he has surrendered his fears about this beastly energy. He is no longer allowing his fears about the potential things that could cause harm to this desire that he has, to the destiny, his fate, to being able to share his cup, for to see those pieces come into place and actually experience union with divine feminine. He's not afraid anymore. And that is right above this temperance energy, because he's trusting in the divine nature and the protection that is inherent in this union. So that is a fucking beautiful. All right, let's look at divine feminine, who is not overthinking but is overfeeling. Oh, okay. All righty. All right. So, divine feminine, top of the deck, overall headspace for her. 8 of cups in reverse. Oh, divine feminine, you just don't want to walk away from this past iteration of the masculine energy that has not served you. It is really not served you. But this is the forefront of your mind. It is really difficult for you to walk away. You can't see the poison in the cups. You can't see the toxicity. You're hovering somewhere between trying to figure out unconditional love, where you forgive people because we're all humans, and allowing neglect and abuse to occur, which is about not being worthy. So you're trying to figure it out. You're like, should I walk away from this because I can, because I know there's poison in some of these cups? Or do I stay and just, transmute the poison with my healing powers? Love that for you, feminine. But you're really, really not sure. You're really not sure what to do. And so consequently, the niggling feeling or the niggling thought in the back of the mind is this hermit energy. You're going to have to go within. You're going to have to wait. We're using the Mystic Mondays deck, which, because my camera is not great, isn't showing how beautiful these cards are, but the colors are so vibrant. But this hermit energy is definitely the situation where she is feeling like she's looking through this window and just waiting for something to happen. And it's underlying all of her thoughts and feelings, because she won't walk away from a certain energy. She's enforcing isolation on herself, enforcing this waiting feeling on herself, and feeling stuck, feeling alone. This is something you do on your own, right? And it's good because she's going within and trying to dig out the reasons why she has such a hard time walking away, or if she should walk away. It's about self-exploration, which is what this journey is really supposed to cause you to do, is to just explore the self and find out your purpose and your mission and connect with a higher power. And so this is good that this is what's happening, but it probably doesn't feel good. Like, it probably feels frustrating. The first thing in her mind is the moon. So this is like the mystery, the secrets, the cosmic connections. It's also this awareness that she knows on a certain level that she's not supposed to know the answer. That it's purely her trusting in this 5D energy, this connection between the two aspects of self coming into union, that she just has to trust in that, and that she's not meant to see the answers like about everything. The moon is also a big deal for them. It's a huge card that comes up for them all the time. There was a time when there was never a reading without like 3 occurrences out of 4 decks. Excuse me, of the moon. So it's always been a big thing for them. And I think it's because there's always been this dream space, this fantasy, this potential energy where they've always kind of hovered. But again, in this image, we're seeing divine feminine alone. So for as long as she resists walking away from this other energy, we're seeing her on her own, right? And we are also seeing these images of waiting. The next image that comes up, we've already seen over here for Divine Masculine and his placement of like, what the fuck is taking me so long? We see Divine Feminine thinking about Divine Masculine in this Knight of Pentacles energy. Doesn't have a horse. He's not moving. He doesn't look that concerned. We don't see a lot of expression on his face here. He's just holding that offer there, kind of kicking back. I keep seeing my DM going to parties and shit, having a great time. And I'm like, okay, all right, well, this is what I'm doing. This is what I'm doing while you're taking your sweet time. I'm doing this, which is funny because the messages that get sent to me are like, don't see anyone else. Don't be with anybody else. Just wait for me. I'm like, okay. You're stopping at every freaking birthday party along the way, and I'm here by myself. Cool for me, right? Cool. But don't walk away though, self. Just keep sitting there, hovering there on that ledge with your higher calling being like, come this way. There's much better stuff for you over here. If you stop telling the story about waiting for this slow moving Knight of Pentacles who's not doing it. Now, the reason why you're waiting is because of the light traits of this dude. Okay? Solid, reliable, with the Ace of Pentacles. That's a solid, abundant, prosperous offer there. This is also about how you are taking your time. You are moving slowly, digging through the subconscious beliefs that have been holding you back, that have been keeping you in this stuck energy where you're not moving forward, where you're kind of inching. The next thing that's coming up for you is where you want to go, which is the Nine of Wands in reverse. This is a direct contrast to the niggling feeling, which is I'm stuck alone in my hermit energy. This is I'm going places. I'm leaving this hermit energy behind. I've done my healing. I've fought my battles. I've licked my wounds, but I'm all better now and I'm ready to leave this isolation. I have slowly and methodically picked through the things in my subconscious that have caused me to hold myself back. And there it is, the Emperor. Now, I chose Mystic Mondays and I didn't have to choose this deck, and we got the Emperor, and the Emperor in this deck has a clinging energy, right? Divine Feminine is realizing that that is what has held her back. She has been clinging to one Divine Masculine who is very stubborn, slow moving, and controlling. This is not necessarily a specific iteration. It is more a behavior or like a personality trait. And it was one that has existed in every relationship, probably, because this is one she's working to release from her subconscious. I know for me, kind of really going deep and finding out about my sexual trauma that happened before I was 4 years old, there is now this awareness that I have, and this is, of course, Divine Feminine's headspace, that there was this really distorted masculine energy that controlled me and threatened me and told me to keep silent. And that created this pathway in my brain, which caused me to overlay that belief system on all of my relationships. So I was victimized over and over again. Divine Feminine has healed the aspects of herself that came from those deep wounds in her subconscious. So this is no longer going to be something she's going to see coming from this masculine energy. And actually, I see a certain amount of gratitude for the slow moving energy of this masculine energy, because it has given her the time she needed to actually sift through and heal these wounds, which weren't even wounds she was really so aware that she had. And then we are seeing the Five of Swords upright. This is a card about defeat, about giving up and walking away. And this is what is finally kind of haunting her. She's like, I just can't get this masculine energy to move. So I have to move on. Like I don't want to fight him anymore. I'm tired. I'm exhausted. Like I have new fresh wounds that come from feeling so like a kept woman, and I'm so defeated by this. It doesn't serve me. It's heartbreaking to me. And so I love this Divine Feminine, Six of Swords. From the five progressing into the Six of Swords. You are ready in your headspace to move on. And the reason why this is the overall feeling is because you're aware that it's time to move on from this energy, to give up, to accept this defeat, to learn from the pain that you received waiting for somebody who didn't value you or couldn't value you to come forward. And just knowing that no matter how many good things are in these cups, the proof is in the pudding. Like, we're in this moment right now. And in this moment right now, this iteration that you were clinging to was in their rigid, controlling behavior, and controlling every facet and not coming forward and just doing things on their own time, rigidly, stubbornly. And so, it's time to move on. You're just really not wanting to. And that's causing you to go into this hermit energy to just try to figure out, well, why wouldn't I want to move on from an energy like that? In your heart space, we're seeing the Eight of Swords in reverse, which is really good, but it's very interesting because we're contrasting it with the Eight of Cups in reverse. But your heart is urging you to stop protecting yourself, because Eight of Swords we look at as a card of self-sabotage, but it's really about protecting yourself from what it is that you deserve, protecting yourself from what you think you might not be worthy of, like because of these limiting beliefs you've had about yourself. So she's working really hard to kind of figure out, to like suss out, is walking away protecting myself from what I truly desire? Is sticking it out really good for me because this Knight of Pentacles is solid and reliable? Am I actually hurting myself by not walking away? Or am I no longer protecting myself because instead of getting scared and running away, I'm actually sticking around? So that little tug of war is going on in her headspace and heart space right now. Maybe the reason she can't go is because running is entering into the runner chaser dynamic, which doesn't serve her anymore. The niggling feeling from the Muse tarot here is the Ace of Cups, or Ace of Emotions, which we already saw in Divine Masculine's headspace in his overthinking. Now, it was upright for Divine Masculine, and I think the reason we're seeing it in its reverse for Divine Feminine in this position is because we're seeing her feeling this readiness to receive this cup. Like, she's filled her cup and she's ready to pour it out. This is clarifying this hermit energy. It's also what she's waiting for. She's waiting to receive this cup that Divine Masculine has on his side, to mirror it back to her. This could also be almost like looking into a mirror instead of a window. That's very relevant. Also, the first thing in her heart space is the Six of Cups, and it is clarifying the moon. And that makes so much sense because that's nostalgia. It's about reuniting with your twin, coming back together. It's about having perspective, all of the things that happened, having had meaning and value, and really showing you like a full picture. I think this is also about this connection, this past life connection, the cosmic aspects of the relationship. And then look at this divine masculine over here with his Queen of Pentacles energy. Here's divine feminine with her King of Pentacles energy. So there's them thinking about each other or feeling each other in their heart space. And this is what is clarifying this Knight of Pentacles. And this is what she desperately longs for. She wants that slow, plodding, methodical energy to make its way to the mastery of the King of Pentacles, to actually manifest and become present in his full maturity and mastery here in the 3D. She truly desires to reunite with this specific iteration who she feels has been so solid and so stable, so reliable, so true, but so slow. She desires this new beginning. Here's the Fool coming out of this isolation, being alone. She's done with it. She wants to take that step into her future. She wants to push off, right? And not necessarily walk away, because if walking away is what doesn't serve her, she wants to actually stick around, but she wants a new beginning after having healed these wounds. And then I can't make this up. Holy shit. Holy shit. Okay. We have the Emperor in reverse is clarified by the Empress in reverse. So this is the divine masculine, divine feminine. And this is what she has done. This is what she is thinking and feeling. They, on this journey, they have learned to release the distorted feminine and masculine energies that have been present inside of themselves. She has done the subconscious reprogramming that was necessary. She's searched her past, she's found these wounds, and she's released these distorted feminine and masculine energies. She's healed the wounds probably of her caregivers, if she had like the mother and fathering energy coming from someone in the family that was distorted. It has been released. She's healed this and she's ready to move into the next phase. And when we see the Emperor and the Empress in reverse, it's also about, those are very fixed energies. They're sitting in their thrones. They are fixed, or they're literally growing from the earth, depending on how the card looks. And for both of these cards, when we see a reversal on them, it's about them no longer being stubborn and rigid, or waiting or gestating, but giving birth, standing up, finally starting to rebuild. That kind of energy is coming from the head and the heart. And then again, the Emperor in reverse, just in case you weren't sure that this was about union. There's the Empress and the Emperor from the same deck. And this reversal is what she's defeated by. And we already saw her defeated by that stubborn energy before. She's utterly defeated. This is her heart and her head agreeing. I am not fighting for this distorted masculine anymore. I will not fight for this energy. If this energy is healed and can come forward to me, and here's the overthinking, and can come forward to me releasing these Knight of Wands traits. This is inconsistency, inefficiency, like teasing, dangling carrots, hoovering, sucking you in, then leaving you hanging out to dry, sleeping around, player energy. She is moving on from any type of energy that looks like this, any type of energy that's triggering her fears. And she's also releasing her fears that her Emperor, her divine masculine, is in this energy anymore. She is believing that these pieces are falling into place in this Three of Wands. And guess what? I allowed overfeeling in the heart space for her, and I allowed that overthinking for divine masculine. And what was it? It was the time. It's time. Divine feminine can see, and also he had the Nine of Swords in reverse, which was the same card here we had in the overthinking. Incredible. She feels also that it's time. She's very patient because she's had to release these fears and worries and anxieties about the masculine energy in this energy and learn these lessons that once she stops telling the story, right? This self-protective story about what the masculine energy is like or what he's going to do to her, because she's released these past views of him in this energy. She's actually moving on from her feelings that this masculine isn't worthy and deciding not to walk away because she can see how it was her own fears that she was projecting onto this energy, but that he truly is this King of Pentacles and she truly does want to choose to be with that energy, but not with any sort of distorted energy. So if the energy is distorted, she's going to keep her distance. But when she sees that the distortion is leaving, she is perfectly willing to consider being with his energy. All right, let us move into the oracles for divine masculine. These are the things that are going to help him come into alignment so that he can make this offer that he's releasing fears and anxieties about. And they're very close to being on the same page here, which is really excellent. Divine masculine, you're in the shadow attributes of the addict right now. So you're having a hard time recognizing and confronting your addictive behavior. You're compromising integrity and honesty, and you're allowing an addictive pattern to have authority over your inner spirit. So that temperance energy was here for you, and you're needing it. You're needing this balance. You are in a place where you're fighting off these addictions. And I think they really are these, just the addiction to the pattern with the divine feminine that you've had, which has been to like be like, I'm here for it. Just kidding. I want to, not yet. Let's do it now, but I just need a little bit more time. I feel that those patterns, those addictive patterns and cycles you've been in, those are the things that you really have to face. It's like you might have faced some physical addictions to physical substances of some kind and felt like you were in the, you were like all good to go. And then being like, well, what the hell is taking me so long? Like I did this work, I did this temperance work, and I'm still having these issues. Or maybe you tried doing the temperance work, it didn't fully take. And it's that you're still not quite addressing the reason for the addictive pattern, and that is coming up in the next two cards. You've got a lot of reversals here in your oracles. This is, you are in the shadow attributes of the magical child, which is pessimism, depression, and disbelief in miracles, and believing that energy and action are not required for growth. This is a big one for you, and it came out with your guardian angel who is going to support you in healing this energy. Because to have two of these little children cards in reverse, to have them both be like this little fairy angel type energy here is very interesting. And so divine masculine, you're getting help with this because you need it. You need help in believing in miracles, and you really need help in believing that you have to do things. You have to take the energy and the action and make things happen. It's not just going to happen like this. There's not a magic button. And you really need to move into the light where you can see the potential for sacred beauty, all things, and have the belief that everything is possible. But you must make it happen. It's like the story I always say, you're drowning in the ocean. You're like, please, God, save me. And God sends a boat. And the boat's like, hey, we're here to save you. And you're like, oh, no, God is going to save me. And the boat's like, okay. And they go away. And then God sends freaking dolphins. And you're like, oh, my God, the cute dolphins. The dolphins are like, we're here to save you. And you're like, no, it's okay. God is going to save me personally, like right up out this ocean. And the dolphins are like, okay. And then, etc. And then finally you die, you drown, you go to the gates of heaven, and God is there. And you're like, God, what the fuck? I was praying the whole time and I was like, please save me. And you didn't do anything. And God's like, I sent a boat. I sent dolphins. I sent a helicopter. I sent a magical wizard. And you were like, nope. God is going to save me, because you couldn't see that I was giving you the opportunity to save yourself by accepting this help, by accepting these methods of getting out of the place where you were supposed to go. You just kept waiting for me to do this magical thing, like make you appear on the earth. And that's not what it's about. You're supposed to enjoy getting from where you are to where you want to go, babes. So you missed out on that one, but it's okay, because you can try again. Do you want to get to the pearly gates and try again? Or do you want to get this done now? You need to take action. It's not just going to happen because you like really want it to. Like Austin Powers style. You have to face your commitment issues. You seek this commitment, which it equals freedom and peace for you, but you still resist it. You're still resisting it because you have fears that have to do with your own abilities and the pessimism. So you really need support in really embracing this and dipping deep into the subconscious to find out where these commitment issues are arising. You're getting this animals card in reverse, which is a real call. I feel like you are having a hard time trusting in divine feminine's loyalty. Does this look disloyal to you? Because she's all on her own. And there's this thing that we're needing to rise above collectively, which is that for some reason there's this feeling that like, and it's definitely ego based, but that when you have this love relationship, you must possess the other person. You must possess them, and no one else can ever enjoy them because it's yours. And while there is something to be said for making a sacred agreement with somebody and agreeing to share only your energy, if you've not made that commitment or agreement, it's not there. And because the energy, like let's say feminine energy does come out of this hermit energy, God forbid, and experience joy with another person. Unconditional love is not possessive. You might feel sadness that you didn't get to experience it because of the choices that you made, but you have to allow it. You have to allow it. It doesn't even mean it's going to happen if you allow it. It's just you have to allow that divine feminine can dabble and still be loyal to you. Haven't you done the same? So you got to get over that divine masculine. That's a big one for you. A new start is coming. And when I get a reversal on these Moonology cards, I'm always like, it's here though. We're here. Here's the new start. It requires only for you to start it up. Oh my God. My youngest sibling, who's 22 now, when he was little, had this little, it was like a car wheel and there were buttons on it that would sound like a car driving. And the main button when you turn it on would go, start it up, start it up. And then I would babysit and he would be like, start it up, start it up. Oh my God. And then it would go, oh my God. People invent the worst fucking toys. Holy shit. You are also getting get grounded, empaths, highly sensitives, and connect with nature. And it's in reverse. For me, this is the Four of Cups energy where you've just been sitting there and meditating and fantasizing. And that time is over. You've fantasized enough. Come out of the fantasy and join us here upon the earth. It is lovely here. Very, very lovely here. And then we are getting cow spirit. The miracles are endless. And this is coming out with your magical child in reverse, which is you're having trouble believing in miracles. So I'm going to read you the message from the Colette Baron Read Spirit Animal Guide, because I'm assuming this is a pretty powerful message for you today, Divine Masculine. You are at a beautiful point in your life today, for your needs are being met effortlessly and in so many ways. Fully embrace this truth by focusing on all you have right now, including the positive relationships that sustain you, the work you are proud to do to contribute to the world, and the activities that inspire you and nourish your soul. Cow Spirit nudges you to pay attention because this is the perfect time to focus on the choices, actions, and behaviors that you know feed your soul and bring your heart contentment. Now is also the time when you will see many of your projects and commitments that were set in motion in the past begin to yield valuable gifts that will bring you joy and love and sustain you for a long time to come. Stay positive and share your well-being with others. The more you share, the more you will manifest, so be generous. Cow spirit promises you will never run out of miracles. Do it up, divine masculine energy. Get that job done. All right, divine feminine, look at you. You're in the light attributes of the Fool. We already got that for you today. You are fearlessly revealing your emotion, and you're helping people laugh at absurdity and hypocrisy. And you're no longer using humor to wound rather than liberate or denying your emotional truth. You are ready for this new beginning. You are completely ready. You're ready to start. You need only the partner in crime to be able to do that. And that person is ready too. They just need to believe in their power and their own miracles. You're in the shadow attributes, however, of the servant energy, which is using the lack of money as an excuse not to move forward with life. Ooh, this is a challenging one for me because I'm definitely now that my son is living with me having like, wow, there's two people. And it's different than when there's only one person financially. And so there are things that like I want to do and I find myself being like, well, I don't know because I have to hire a car for that and this and that and the other thing. Be careful. That's lack mentality. You don't want to slip back into that. And you want to be in the delights of the servant energy, which is serving others with a free and loving heart. So there might be a feeling like if you start to feel like this lack of money is holding you back, you might start to, like for me, one of my jobs, I do readings on the side, but my readings really, there's something I offer because people ask for them. And they do help increase my abundance, which I do need to be able to survive. But like my main source of income comes from working with different artists, helping them to produce their music or teaching or coaching. And there could be a tendency for me when I start to freak out that I don't have enough money to move forward, where I start to take my services that I offer and just become greedy about them. So if somebody can, like, I offer income based services and like really hoping that I'll get people who can just pay the whole amount, where it starts to become less about me helping people and more about me like worrying about materials. So you have to be careful of that. Um, and just delight in serving others and know that the service that you're doing results in abundance. And as long as you are serving your own needs too, like you have to be making sure that you're meeting your own needs, of course, for that abundance to flow. But just be lighthearted about the work that you're doing. You will see a return on your investment. You just have to trust. Don't compromise right now. There might be a feeling like, oh, I should just get a regular job. Like I almost found myself writing down in my unblocked moon, like work that I was doing this weekend, like apply for teaching jobs. What? I don't need to do that. But there's like an old part of myself that's like, oh, well, you want to move forward. You want to be able to afford your record. So maybe you should just get like a regular job and just pay for it while it's happening. It's like, no, I don't need to do that. I attract abundance through the work that I'm doing. It's coming to me. I just have to believe in it. I don't want to compromise the growth that I've had, that I've gained in believing in myself. So, divine feminine, you're being supported. You're not going to have to compromise your ideals. You're not going to have to compromise your art. You're not going to have to compromise your what it is that you want in your partner. You're not going to have to accept distorted masculine knight of wands type energy. There's not any part of you that's ever going to have to accept that type of stuff again. You are protected, supported, and being helped in maintaining that. And if you don't know about St. Agnes of Rome, you might want to do some kind of a devotion to her because she's willing to be there to help support you in this energy. So, an artist I was working with recently was saying that she was feeling tempted. She had, I guess, probably management or something tell her that she needed to go back to the drawing board on her record. Now, I will say, it does make sense to take advice from people about really revisiting something because you might have actually been trying to appease people and not being authentic to yourself. And that person might be able to hear that. So it's not a bad thing to go back and look at what you've made. In the arts, your ego can kind of blind you from things that might help you. But it's another thing when somebody's like, hey, you know this one hit, Son? Everyone likes that song. Go make that song over and over. That's compromising something that's just trying to make songs that everybody likes over and over, that's not going to serve your soul. So there's one thing about, being reflective and looking at the work you've done and adjusting and shifting and pivoting. But it's another thing to like be told that you should do something to help you make a buck because you're worried about not being able to move forward and then giving into that. Don't do that. That doesn't serve you. Your guardian angel is here to support you in sleep. So this is in its reverse. You are probably going through this awakening. So there's a couple things. If it's just purely about sleep, you might have been experiencing lack of sleep, and you're gonna be helped in achieving more sleep. Or if you've been sleeping quite a lot, it might be time to stop resting and to get up and to do the things that you need to do. But you'll be supported in either energy, whichever is there for you. I'm also seeing that you might be receiving important messages in your dreams. I dreamed about my DM last night. I was at this event, this little intimate house party. There was like a woman who was telling me, oh, he's so great. And he really loves the person he's singing the song about because he was singing a song about a person. And I was just like, knowing it was me. And I was like, yeah, he's going to be with me. And then he turned to me and said, eventually. Deuces. Gee, I guess I'll just wait. It was a good song. Is it worth waiting? I don't know. I'm going to steal the song though. So you might be getting messages in your dreams. You might be resisting the messages in your dreams, but any of those layers that are there for you or resonate with you about sleep, but there's definitely awakening that's taking place collectively that we're looking at. Happiness is here. It's here. It's not in reverse. You're not resisting it. It's upright. It's here. It's transformative. It's powerful. There's a glow up going on. You probably look incredible. You might feel incredible in some way. And if you don't, you're about to. I had my moment yesterday where I was pleasantly surprised at the potential for representation as an artist that I'm receiving. And I was just filled with that happiness and gratitude and appreciation. And like, I worked so hard, and finally somebody who works with Kanye West like noticed that, and that's a big deal. Like I was like, really experiencing that happiness and just delighting in it and remembering in that happiness to be like, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you for this miraculous event, for these prayers being answered, for being persistent to myself, for not giving up, for seeing an opportunity and being like, hey, I'm taking it. Be bold and make the first move. I did that yesterday. I got a message that was like, hey, do you know about this studio? And I was like, yes, I do. That studio is incredible. I love it. And I have to ask you, do you want to hear what I'm making at that studio? And then I sent that. And then the response I got after that was like, I will be in touch with you directly. And I was like, cool. And it's happening. Yay. Make the first move. Be bold. I could very easily have helped out my friend's studio and just been like, oh, I did a good thing, and not asked for that next level. Not to be like, hey, I just told you about this great studio. Here's what I'm making. Do you know anybody who might want to represent me? Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. You have to be bold. And you might have been bold and made a move, and it was a good one. The reversal on that also might be if you've been constantly making moves towards a masculine energy, it's time for you to step back and allow that energy now to make its move towards you. Like, now that I made my move, now I need to retreat, replenish, rest and be held. That's sleep in reverse. And this card about rest, you might need to rest now. There's a sense here you've been doing a lot of work trying to get everything done, and now it is time to just be held. You did what you needed to do. You said what needed to be said. And this energy is going to come to you, and it's going to fill up that cup, and you just have to trust. You're getting this Mentakin, which is in reverse. This is longing for home, belonging, and the original light workers. And the reversal on this, I feel, is that we're seeing that hermit energy. We're seeing a lot of this isolation, that image of that female energy just sitting there waiting. And are you hearing the bass coming from somewhere very loudly, and then also the helicopters? Because like I need to move. I'm longing to move away. But we see this divine feminine doing a lot of longing, and we're being called to an awareness that when you're in a state of longing, you cannot be in a state of having. And once you have a sense that you already belong, you belong to yourself, you belong right here, right now, this is a really powerful revelation. This will liberate you. And then we're getting Peacock Spirit in reverse, and this is Let It Shine, and it is card number 46. I'm going to read the message for you because it's a protection message. And it says, are you afraid of dancing with abandon because of what others might think? Do you think you may be punished if you shine too brightly? Have you been conditioned to expect to be hurt if you show yourself fully to the world? Maybe not everyone will celebrate your beautiful radiance when you shine. That's okay. Peacock Spirit is here to remind you that while others may resist celebrating the beauty within them, although they might contract while you expand and shake your tail feathers, smile and keep dancing anyway. Model the good fortune and abundant joy that is yours, and soon someone will say, "Me too," and join you. Spirit loves you so much and wants you to enjoy the dance and shine your light. Divine feminine, we know that this is true because the masculine side was all about how like a feminine reflection. So when you're shining in your light and when you're doing for you and when you're abundant and taking care of yourself and loving yourself, it is impossible for you not to attract that same energy to yourself. All right, and here is where we are in union. The divine couple is in union, and I just saw 111 on the clock. You are in the shadow attributes right now of the dilettante. So there is a pretension to much deeper knowledge than you actually possess, which I'm less drawn to. The one that I usually am drawn to is actually the reversal on the light attributes, which is you're both a little afraid. You're both being a little bit superficial in how you are like engaging with one another because you're afraid of wrecking things by not knowing exactly what you're doing. There's a fool energy here, there's a new beginning energy, there's a maturation energy that's happening. And so there's this feeling of like not being quite skilled enough to be able to actually do this, be in this union, be actually have this thing, have this job, have this manifestation, whatever it is. And so you're just kind of dabbling a little bit. It's like it's the dangling carrot feeling. It's like, I love you. Oh, I think he loves me too, but I don't know for sure. So I'm just gonna like, I'm only gonna do a little bit, like, just a little send. Oh, like, there's not a depth here. Because you're afraid that you're not going to be good at it. So you need to come into that light and delight in this process with each other without having to be professional, letting yourself make mistakes, not having it be this thing that you're going to ruin everything by not knowing how to do things perfectly. And then really paying attention when you are being superficial out of fear. Then we're getting this guardian angel energy, and it says wise decision. So you have made, I believe, a wise decision. You've already made the choice. You've already chosen. Divine feminine, honestly, you've chosen not to walk away. And divine masculine, you have chosen to release these shadow traits that have kept you disconnected from the divine feminine and you're choosing to walk towards her. So you are choosing to come together, and this is a wise decision. It's going to work out. There is a new beginning here. This is the new beginnings card with that fool energy and with divine masculine ready to make this offer with this ace energy, which is new energy, new beginning, etc. Show the world the real you is in reverse. There's been a lot of hiding. This is star energy in reverse. This is also Aquarian full moon in Aquarius, which we just had. So that release from that full moon in Aquarius really is allowing us to finally show the world the real you. It's finally letting us be in this place where we can let this light shine and accept these endless miracles and share them. And we are getting align your life. What is aligned? What is not aligned or needs to change? And I always really feel like that's just such a perfect example of the two parts of self having to shift together, having to like, you know, get rid of masks that have been worn and find that true authentic self, really come into alignment. So you're being asked right now, what is not aligned or needs to change for the both of you? I would say the superficial communication. You need a deeper communication to be able to move into union. Without that deeper communication, you're really at this impasse. And that is really what needs to change. The resistance masculine has to communicating. Um, any resistance divine feminine has to receiving communication. Remember, her Ace of Cups is in reverse. So we need to get these aligned and we need to get this upright. If this is in reverse, we might not be taking care of ourselves. We might be having a hard time, like really loving ourselves. I don't feel that so much for divine feminine, but I should say it. I really think that's more about her being so ready to finally experience all the emotion that is going to pour forth from that ace when she receives it. And then we're getting the protection message of lion spirit, which is be generous of spirit. And that Leo season energy is so prominent there. We also saw divine masculine and that strength energy for Leo season himself. And with that wheel of fortune, this is a great time to grab that opportunity by the balls. The protection message is, do you doubt you can do much good? Are you stuck in a state of scarcity thinking? Who am I to lead, or who am I to step into my dream? Who am I to have an amazing relationship? Who am I to think I can help? Lion Spirit is here to tell you that the antidote for low self esteem is stepping into healthy pride. Of course, you can do all you desire. The spark of great spirit lives inside you, and you are here to steward that amazing energy into the world. Lion Spirit knows that great spirit invested in you so that you might be a channel for spirit's love and generosity. Take pride in your role, seeking to bring an abundance of love into the world. Perhaps you do much good already, but you're feeling unappreciated, wanting to hold back your gifts and hoard them for yourself. Maybe you are looking for attention and praise. Maybe you were even being generous with the expectation that you would be entitled to a repayment. Know that the real magic happens when you remember there is always enough and you are always enough. Give freely without agenda or expectation, and let Lion Spirit remind you that in giving you receive. Then you will see that you are appreciated. Stop comparing yourself to others and seeing yourself as less than, for within you is a wellspring of generosity. Good messages. All right, let's close the reading with some messages that you can use to help you get through just today. What can you do today that will help you make those changes and come into alignment, like your oracle card is saying needed to be done? Please like, subscribe, share, click on all the links. Pearlsprayers.com is where you can reach me for booking services, readings. There's all kinds of things there you can go explore. And it's expanding every day. We're going to add a playlist section soon and an about page. It's always changing. So take a look if you haven't looked at it in a minute and see if there's some new services you might be interested in. On Friday of this week, I am releasing my very first solo debut single that I produced myself and recorded, performed, wrote, all that good stuff at Moose Cat Studios here in Los Angeles, which is a great studio if you ever need one. Little boutique place. It's super cute and really amazing people behind that studio. So I'm releasing that on Friday and I'm very excited about it. It's not like anything I've ever made. And I really honored the song and I think it shows. So I'm excited for that. So if you're interested, Pearl's Prayers on Instagram, you can stay up to date on there, of course. Or I'm sorry, Pearl and the Prayers on Instagram, but Pearl's Prayers is the website, so you can get all the information you need about it. You can't have that many cards, Divine Masculine. You are so greedy. All right, let's see. Feminine needs a couple too. Let's see. Let's help. Okay, Divine Masculine, we'll start with you. This is what you need to do today. Remember your message. Action and energy towards what you need to do, which means when I give you these messages, you must do them. Wow, you're getting a lot of messages. Holy moly. Okay. You are getting the axe, break up, separation, stop the pattern, silent treatment, and abandonment. You are getting engagement ring, engagement, partnership, commitment, eternity, completion, and union in reverse. You're getting the Knight of Wands, the Five of Swords, the Four of Cups, and the Five of Pentacles. We'll get there. Let's start here. Do you have to break up with somebody that you have had an engagement with? No, I don't think so. I am drawn to the stop the pattern here. Stop the pattern of silent treatment, and which comes from your abandonment issues. End the separation. End the separation. And you can end the separation by stopping the pattern that causes you to go into silent treatment because of your fears of commitment. Remember, your commitment card came out in reverse already. So you need to stop that pattern because of your commitment issues. So today, when you go to engage in the normal pattern that you always engage in, whatever it is that you've been addicted to, stop. Stop. And if you're curious about what that pattern is, well, it looks something like this. Knight of Wands energy. Very passionate. Want to go sweep Divine Feminine off her feet? Oh, cool. That sounds like a great idea. I'm totally going to do that. Except that this Five of Swords energy is accompanying it. So I end up cycling into this battle and defeat with her, and then going into this fantasy dream space. And it's time for me to ground the union and release this lack mentality, this scarcity thinking that's causing me to have lowest self-esteem issues, which we already heard about when we were reading the Lion Spirit card. This is the pattern that needs to end. Knight of Wands, being defeated by your immature Knight of Wands energy, and this fantasy instead of being practical in reality because you're afraid that you're not good enough or that you don't have enough or whatever it is. Stop doing that. Keep these commitments you're making to yourself. Believe in yourself. Believe in your worthiness, in your ability to ground the connection. And don't give up on yourself because of these past beliefs you've had. And you know what we didn't see today, Divine Masculine, which is a huge relief to me? We did not see you struggling with releasing a karmic partner or a karmic situation. In fact, we saw justice here and potentially a positive legal judgment in your favor. So that's good. Divine Feminine, you must do the following things. You're getting this hammer card, which says sabotage, rebuilding, interrogation, repetitive, persistent, and working on it, along with talking, interested, conversing more, awaited message arrives, text, call, email, and hoovering, which is like where you send somebody a message just to kind of like suck them in, but it's kind of like a Knight of Wands energy. You're getting the Seven of Wands, the Seven of Pentacles, and the Queen of Cups. And so here is what you need to do today. You need to persistently work on yourself. You need to continue working on this energy of sabotage. We had this Eight of Swords in reverse. So working on, do not protect yourself from what it is you desire. You are interested in conversing more. You want to talk more, right? But you have been waiting to be able to talk, and you're supposed to. You got the thing that says do not make the first move in regards to the masculine, and just retreat, rest, and be held, and await these messages. But what I'm seeing here is I think it's this awaiting these messages, because the Seven of Wands and Seven of Pentacles is like working again, like standing your ground and being patient and being in this unconditional love. So today, I think you just need to stand your ground, that you're not going to accept anything less than you are entitled to, which is direct communication. You can await these messages, but you have to do this from a place of unconditional love and patience. If you're fighting against yourself, if you're feeling uncomfortable about waiting, if you're feeling like you're in that longing energy or anything like that, you are sabotaging your ability to have this communication. So be patient. Don't focus on it. Focus on nurturing yourself, taking care of yourself, providing for yourself, and being in that compassionate and loving and healing energy towards the self. All right. And then finally, the bottom of the deck for you both, you are getting Cupid's arrow, which says, have faith, love is coming, surprise invitation, meeting, or hesitation. And then you are getting this Two of Swords in at the bottom of the deck for the second deck. So this is the shadow. You have to have faith that love is coming, and don't go into a defensive state while you are waiting, but remain open. Do not hesitate, divine masculine. And for divine feminine, trust that this surprise invitation or meeting is coming and that it is worth waiting for. And that is your advice today. And I do not always give advice. Now, waiting is a choice that you are making. And if you are making the choice because you are doing what is best for yourself, then it is the right choice. But if you are choosing to wait because you think that this energy needs you to wait, it is not the right choice. And if you are waiting because you think this energy is coming to complete you, and during the time of waiting, you are not also doing the soul searching and healing that needs to take place, it is not good for you either. So you are waiting, but you are waiting for the right reasons, and that's very important. So I hope this helped you today. I shall be back again on Wednesday morning with our obstacles removed spread. That's a studio day for me, so stay tuned. Sometimes I allow myself to get ready for studio and I don't necessarily do the reading. If that happens, I'll try to do that on Thursday morning. But as far as I know right now, I do plan to do the reading on Wednesday morning on YouTube. Friday, I will be doing the release and rebuild spread that accompanies the obstacles removed. And then Sunday, I will be with Grace Strega on Instagram Live. We do answer questions, so I can pull cards for you. She pulls cards for you. If you missed last week's, you can catch the replay on Grace Strega's page. Please go follow her. She's incredible. Thank you so much for being here with me today. pearlsprayers.com to book services or anything else you might need. Jump in my emails. You can ask me anything. And if you're worried about pricing, send me an email. I do discount codes for income-based situations. So thank you very, very, very much and have a wonderful day. Take care.